Changing crowns. My Lord wore a crown of shame on Golgotha's hill that eve, but it was not his own. 'Twas my crown of shame that he had chosen to receive. For his crown of a victorious, sinless life he had removed from his own head, and suffered my horribly shameful one to be painfully placed there instead. He went to the grave with my crown of shame, blood-stained by the cost of my sins. But when he conquered death that glorious morn, he had another crown with him. Gone was the death-dooming crown of shame, which was rightfully mine to wear. In its place was a victorious crown of life, with my own name written there. My filthy rags were next replaced with his spotless robe by grace. I have so much to thank Christ for while here in this sin-darkened place, but I can scarcely wait to thank my Lord when I meet him face to face.
The exchange. Charmed by the alluring serpent, I followed fast its path. Then suddenly it turned and bit me, and I knew I would not last. As my dreaded death drew closer, agony of soul and body rose. I desperately sought salvation, but saw all doors were closed. Then following an inner whisper, I looked beyond death's cruel mound, and saw the figure of a serpent stretched up above the ground. He was fastened to a stake, which reached from earth to sky. It was that same sin serpent, which now causes my soul to die. But as the evening's dim lights flickered, it morphed to someone else. In horror I beheld now and saw my very self. When my sorrowful eyes reopened and upon that wooden orifice rise, it was the Son of God I saw now before my weeping eyes. But he was pure and sinless, so how could these things be? Then suddenly I realized he had become sin for me. But if he is there dying, then what's to become of me? Then a pond showed my reflection, and I saw that I was he. Changing place with me, he embraced my hopeless loss. For this guilty soul's redemption, my guiltless Lord endured the cross. For he hath made him to be sin for us, who knew no sin, that we might be made the righteousness of God in him. 2 Corinthians 5:21.
There once was a man, Idnoi by name. 'Cause the verbiage was tedious, Edna he became. Edna was born of noble estate, but later would meet an unfortunate fate. While on an adventure to a land far and vast, he fell into peril, and all memory he lost. When this misfortune poor Edna befell, he was in a strange land with no ID as well. Back in Edna's homeland, all hard for him sought. To ensure his return, all efforts were wrought. Perplexed and confused, aimlessly Ednoi strayed, till he met with a stranger, and a union was made. Unknown to poor Edna, this was no true friend, but an old family enemy with an ulterior end. He had envy and hatred for all Edna's kind. Their belittlement and destruction was all filled his mind. "Edna, my friend," he said with a smile, "I can solve all your problems. I've been around for a while. I can answer all your questions about who you are. Of all with this knowledge, I'm wiser by far. When it comes to your origins, I know that too well. Being around such a long time, there's a lot I can tell. Now, what I will tell you may not bring you joy, but you still need to know it, so I will not be coy. Your birth was an accident, just a perchance mistake. From the lowest of origins your lineage you take. The reason for you being here, well, that's meaningless too. So it doesn't much matter whatever you do. Your blind chance existence is so short a time. Still, don't overthink it. You'll be just fine. So your pointless existence, be one you can bear. I have many distractions with you to share. They'll keep your life busy. Take no thought or care. Accept all I feed you, there's nothing to fear. Many well-sounding theories and treats I have spun. The theories don't question. The treats, call them fun. I have as disciples the greatest of minds. Such convincing fables they fed all mankind. Addictive pleasures I have by the scores. There's one for each weakness, say, which will be yours. A few arrogant meddlers will tell you I lie, but don't you believe them. Remember, I'm your guy. They'll say life has meaning, and that you're of great worth, that my unrevealed purpose is to bring you great hurt. May talk of your parents and how great they be, how they gave all to regain you, to save you from me. So please close your eyes and close your ears too. For once you believe them, you and I will be through. They're gracious and loving, those parents of yours. And once their love grabs you, there's no chance for ours. Ida stopped and pondered on which side to fall, felt a heart-wrenching urging, a sweet inner call. You're so far from worthless, his inner voice said. Leave that cunning beguiler, choose real joy instead. From a loving creator is how your kind came, and all that befell you, the beguiler's the blame, but all can be changed, made once more so right. Your freedom's been waiting, it's so close in sight. That hate-filled beguiler has deceived you too long, with lies most convincing, and deceptions so strong. But your creator and savior have been pleading too. You just had to choose him. It was all up to you. The truth and the way to real life he offers. Tell that sorry beguiler, you're no more a scoffer. Your parents are waiting, paid such a dear cost. Come home, precious Edna. You need not stay lost. Edena is short for IDNAUI. You and I when turned around.